Let us bring the City of Spartanburg City Council meeting to order. Just a little bit too much feed there, Christopher. All right, we're gonna stand for a moment of silence, and then we'll be led by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Therefore, mind leading us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's some music going on somewhere, Christopher. You have any idea?
Sounds like it's like Muzak or something.
Let's turn it off. It's nothing we can groove to. We have item 3, approval of the minutes for the February the 23rd, 2026 City Council meeting.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Item 4, approval of the agenda of the March 9th, 2026 City Council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. We have public comment, and when I call you, just give us your name, please, and we have everything else here available for you. Just restate your name so we know that it is you. First, we have Javar Juarez. You have 2 minutes. I do want to say that as well.
I will try.
Yeah.
My name is Javar Juarez. I am the editor and chief of the Columbia Urban Broadcast Network and the New Progressive Journal, which is now here in Spartanburg. Thank you. When I told people that I was coming to Spartanburg to start a Black-owned news organization, people told me I was a little crazy. Why would you want to do that? And I understood that the people of Spartanburg are resilient, beautiful people. And many of our stories in mainstream media don't get the coverage that it deserves. Everything cannot be negative. Everything cannot be murder. Everything cannot be the destruction of people. But there are a lot of amazing stories that come out of Spartanburg. And I just this happened to be my first year as an editor in the South Carolina Press Association. And the story that we covered on this council on September the 22nd, 2025, took second in featured news writing. And so I'm here today with a resolution of appreciation honoring Mayor Jerome Rice and the Spartanburg City Council. Whereas the city of Spartanburg has long stood as a place of industry, culture, and community enriched by people from many backgrounds who contribute to the vitality and character of the city, and whereas the Spartanburg City Council, under the leadership of Mayor Jerome Rice, demonstrated principled civic leadership by advancing and adopting a municipal hate crimes ordinance designed to protect residents and visitors from acts of intimidation or violence motivated by prejudice. And whereas the ordinance affirms that crimes committed with the intent to harm or intimidate individuals because of their race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, disability, or other protected characteristics are not merely offenses against individuals, but threats to the peace and safety of the entire community. On behalf of the Columbia Urban Broadcast Network and the New Progressive Journal, I'd like to present the city of Spartanburg with this resolution and the official award from this weekend's Press Association Convention and News Awards.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if anybody is here from Siren, but we also have the exhibit and a resolution for Siren as well.
Thank you. We do so appreciate it.
Thank you so very much.
Nice to meet you. Do you mind?
No, we can take a picture. Anybody mind? I'm normally the photographer. I'm here today.
Christy's gonna get one of those. Let's come in front of the seal, Duke.
Amazing job, you all.
Thank you.
I'll give Chris Head. Never smile.
Good, so good.
Same jacket in the picture. I gotta do Siege.
Okay, sure.
Siege, come on up. Yes, sir.
Good evening, council.
You didn't recognize.
Siege Jefferson. Oh, shoot, I left my plaque in the car, but an update for y'all.
You got a minute, 30 seconds.
I'll get that back to y'all. I'm here just to give you guys an update. Last year, we had the RFP for affordable housing. You guys, help us put that thing together, and we were honored to be Oak Ave Property Group, honored to be one of the developers. So I want to give you an update and then look at what's next. So out of those 10 homes that we have for the RFP for the ARPA funding, we have started construction. 2 of those homes on 784 and 788 North Vernon Street, if you haven't been by, will be completed at the end of this month. Both of those do have home buyers. Both of those buyers are getting $35,000 in assistance. Both of those buyers are first-time homeowners. I think it's just that's what it's supposed to look like, holistically for us to do this work. So the next 8 will get started. We have a couple on Ridge, one on Vernon and one on Zephyr that will start 2 to 3 weeks from now. We'll break ground on those. We're looking to have, buyers for each one of those. So I just want to give you an update on that. The work has been done. Because of that assistance in ARPA, we're able to sell those homes at $205,000, which is crazy. I mean, so they're getting $35,000, 205, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, high-quality homes, cathedral ceilings. I mean, it's unbelievable. So thanks to that work. Secondly, I wanted to we were one of the recipients of the Made at Home program through state housing. Exclusively, it's only in 5 places in South Carolina. Spartanburg is one. We have 15 homes through the SC Made at Home program. What that means is 15 homes, 4.75 interest rate, which is incredible. $200,000 sale price for 3-bedroom, $175,000 sale price for 2 bedrooms. Each buyer receives $25,000 in assistance, and it is exclusive to Spartanburg. So much so that we are going to be busting some legislators here. So it's a big deal for us. Hopefully this program goes federal later. We are Northside Development Group has came in and committed to some lots. The county's doing so, and we're working with you guys, the city right now, to figure out what the contribution or collaboration there is. But I just want you to know it's happening. The work is being done. That's my time. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Chris, come on up, buddy.
Well, good. How are you doing, guys? It's been a couple of years, but been in front of you guys probably 6 or 7 times. It's good to see you, young lady, again. I don't know what happened to your back, but I hope you're okay. Kathy Ward did a great job for the dog park on Union Street. Most of you probably don't even know we even have one. But here's the thing I can say. I've met people from Texas. I've met people from Seattle. I've met people from Canada, New York, Boston. All come through here because of the park. The only reason I'm up here is I'm asking for a little bit more additional funding. The one thing we didn't have at this point one at a time was we got great grass and everything else looked great, but guess what we forgot to do? We had no water. So all the grass that we had we put in is now gone. We have nothing but dirt and mud. So the only thing I'm asking if we could have a little additional things. I've been in touch with Josh from Grounds and Scott from the Parks trying to get things done, especially they helped us out when the hurricane happened last year. We were able to get all the trees and stuff out of that area. They cleaned it up. It was only closed for a week, but we helped them and everything else. I'm here to work with you guys. And I have been in the last 6, 7 years. Sorry I haven't been here, but hey, I've been working and I've had medical. But y'all are doing a great job. Thank you very much. And that's the reason I'm still here. By the way, I went to both colleges here, Spartanburg Methodist and Upstate. So thank you very much at my age. And if y'all can send some extra money that way, we'd be most appreciative. And if we can get the water turned on, would be great too. They're having a problem with the pumps. We know that, but we're trying to lift it a little bit more. I'm getting tired of having to take a gallon of water every time we go to the park. So, we are getting that time, it's getting hot. So just if we can, please, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Just before you leave, Chris, I want to make, you mean water, and I usually don't do this, but I want to make sure water for the lawn.
No, water for the dog park itself.
You don't have a water fountain?
It's been off. There's a bad part.
Okay,
And
okay.
Chris knows about it, Josh knows about it, and they're working on it. It's just been, it's one of those flukes.
Okay.
And it's nothing they've done wrong. Everybody's working together on it. Usually don't come in front of here because we haven't had to. So,
Gotcha.
If we
Gotcha.
go back to the old school where we're just putting a thing on without having to push a button, it'd be wonderful.
Gotcha.
And thank you so much.
Thank you,
guys.
thank you. All right, good, thanks. Public comments. Now we have a proclamation declaring March 2nd to 2026 through March 9th, 2026 as Xi Theta Lambda Chapter Week in the city of Spartanburg. Presenter would be Mr. Jerome Rice, myself, and if we would have the brothers from Alpha Phi Alpha come on down. Just to, whereas Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is the first intercollegiate Greek letter fraternity established by African American men, founded on December 4th, 1906, at Cornell University in New York to promote the value of manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. Whereas in the spirit of the aim and the legacy of the fraternity, Spartanburg Alumni Chapter, Xi Theta Lambda, was chartered. Established on March 4, 1983, the chapter was started by 10 men of distinction in Spartanburg community. Charter brothers are Edward Boxdale Sr., Dr. Arthur L. Bruton, Edward Butler, Roy C. Henderson, Ralph Joe, Terry D. Logan, Don F. McGinsey, Johnny Summers, James Bond, and Ted Williams. Through their diligence and tenacity, the 597th house of Alpha was chartered. And whereas 43 years later, the men of Xi Theta Lambda chapter has consistently shown innovative ways to support the local community while exemplifying a brotherhood rooted in service and promoting the fraternity's goal. These commitments to Spartanburg is evidenced through various community service initiatives, including their annual fundraising event, the Derby Scholarship Day Social, and the Albert W. Gray Oratory Competition. These efforts demonstrate a strong commitment to community responsibility. And whereas the annual Chapter Week provides an opportunity to celebrate Chapter's history and its ongoing dedication to uplifting the community, Xi Theta Lambda has strived to meet needs, provide scholarship opportunities, encourage voter awareness, and participate in service as positive role models to the youth and broader community they interact with. Now, therefore, I, Jerome Rice, by the virtue and authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Spartanburg, and on behalf of my fellow city council members, do hereby proclaim the week of March 2nd, 2026 through March 9th, 2026 as Xi Theta Lambda Chapter Week. On behalf of the city of Spartanburg, man, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, I just went straight to New York. Item 7, Declaration of vacancies for the City of Spartanburg Board and Commission. Presenter, Ms. Christy Lindsay.
Evening, Mayor and Council. It's that time of year again when we have vacancies that will be coming open on our boards and commissions. So I just wanted to run through them with you all. We are accepting applications. Applications will be accepted through June 1st. And then I will be coming back before you all the last meeting of June for recommendations on those that have applied. So first up, we have the Airport Advisory Board. There are currently, or will be, 4 openings. It's a 3-year term, and residency in the City of Spartanburg is not required. And 3 of the 4 folks that are currently on there can be appointed for an additional term. The Architectural Review Board, or HARB, has 2 openings. They're 3-year terms. Residency is a requirement, and one of the 2 that are currently on the board can be reappointed for an additional term. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee, we will have 2 openings. It's also a 3-year term. You must be a resident or have significant business interest to be on that committee, and one of the 2 folks that are on the board are coming off are eligible for another appointment. Design Review Board, there will be 1 opening. It's a 3-year term. Residency or significant business interest is required, and then there are also other elements of that board that would be fulfilled, like if it's an architect or something of that nature that our internal team will look at. Hospitality Tax Committee, there will be 1, it's an unexpired term, so it will be for a 1-year term. You do need to be a resident or have significant business interests, and we will also need 2 council members to be appointed to this board. Councilmember Sally has told me that she would be willing to fill that seat again, so you guys be thinking and let me know who would like to fill that seat. The Housing Board of Adjustment and Appeals, we will have 2 openings. It's a 3-year term, and residency is required. The Planning Commission, we will have 2 openings. This one is a 4-year term. Residency is required. 2 of the folks that will be coming up for their seat would be open. They are eligible for reappointment. The Public Safety Committee, we have 4 vacancies. It's a 3-year term. Residency is required. And 4 of the folks that will be coming up, their seat will be open. They are all eligible for an additional term. The Stormwater Appeals Board, we have 2 openings. These are 2 vacancies that have been there for a while. They're a 3-year term, and residency is required. And then the last one is for the Zoning Board of Appeals. We will have 2 openings. One is an unexpired term, and then one is a vacancy. So the regular vacancy would be a 3-year term, and the unexpired would be a 1-year term.
Any questions of Ms. Lindsay? Yes, ma'am.
Christy, you said you'd come back to us at the end of June with recommendations. My question's about the H-Tax Committee, because that usually starts March-ish, because I was about to say I've been on that committee for the last several years, but we usually make our recommendations. The work is done by the end of June, so
Yes,
I'm curious if, I believe we've had an application for that one, but could we go ahead and appoint that person?
I will look and see. I will check with Christopher George. I know that he heads that up as
Okay.
the city liaison. So I will check with him, and if they do need to fill that to have a quorum, then I'll come back before you all and ask for, and present that applicant for recommendation from you
Okay.
all.
But the stormwater appeals,
Yes.
I remember you've mentioned that several times. Would those be openings that we could or should fill now? Or we want to wait till the end of June?
They currently do have a quorum for that board, but we've just had those 2 vacancies have been open for a long time. Because we have 3 people that are currently, it's a 5-member board, and we have 3 people that are currently on that, and their terms don't run out until next year.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And then I was also going to let you know, if you have any constituents that reach out to you that are interested in being on one of our boards, you can direct them either to the city website or to Match Board, or of course they can call me. I'm happy to connect them, and that process is online. And if they have any questions, I'm happy to walk them through it.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. All right, guys, we are at item 8, 2025 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. Mr. Dennis Locke, Financial Director, along with David Phillips with CPA Green Finley and LLP.
Mayor and Council, as always, as we've done the past few years, I'll come up here and I introduce David Phillips to go over the annual audit. And then once he completes any questions you have for me, I'll come back up to be willing to answer. All right.
All right, I think y'all probably have received electronic copies of the reports, but, they're in the process of also being printed. So you'll probably see those in the coming weeks. We want to just hit the highlights regarding the fiscal year 25 audit. So as we go through this, if you have questions, please feel free to interject, or if you want to wait to the end, that will be fine as well. Remember, your staff have been preparing an ACFR. It used to be called a CAFR. Now it's an ACFR, Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, and you've received the award for numerous years. But one of the real advantages of an ACFR is the statistical tables that are in the back. It gives you 10 years of history. So, especially if you're a new council member, it's hard to pull up 10 separate copies of that report. They're on your website. It's a little challenging, but if you pull up, just the current year and you go in the very back, you can see kind of how you've trended. For the last 10 years. You can see, certain areas where there was growth. You can also see when recessions have hit. You can see the pullback. But it also gives you a little bit of perspective, because sometimes it's good to know what could happen if times did become more challenging. And, you want to always kind of keep that in mind, because we never know when things could kind of pull back a little bit there. So let's turn to the next slide. Our responsibility as your auditors is to issue an opinion. Remember, we look at your significant internal control processes, and if we see that there's issues, it's not only important that I talk to Dennis and Chris, but it's important that you know about it too. You can't fix it if you don't know it's not broken. So again, we're looking at that. These are your financial statements. So our responsibility is to issue an opinion. And we've issued what is considered a clean opinion. It's just we don't use that vernacular, like lawyers have certain vernacular, auditors have certain vernacular, and that's an unmodified opinion. So if we had to modify our report, we would say everything looks good except for cash, or except for capital assets. An unmodified opinion means we're not aware of anything being materially misstated. So that's as good as it gets from an accounting perspective there. All right, so let's look at this slide. I think this gives you a little bit of historical perspective. Your total fund balance increased about $1.2 million in the general fund. There's various components of fund balance. Some of it's non-spendable because you've already spent it, like prepaids. There's some money that you've set aside as council, and that was in the past assigned for insurance. And then you're left with the part of it that is unassigned, which means there's no constraints on that. And that amount is $11 million. It increased from 9.7 in the prior year. And this is about 21% of your 2025 general fund expenditures. In the prior year, that was about 19%. That chart, I bet you kind of look and say, well, what happened in 23? If you remember, U.S. Council assigned a whole bunch of resources for the fire station project. And so, you use some of your unassigned monies there, and now if you notice, we're starting to build those back up. But that gives you the ability, when you have unassigned funds, if there's a need, you could step in and meet that need. And so now you're trying to rebuild that fund balance there. All right, so let's briefly look at your general fund revenues. They increased about 2.1 million over the prior year. You're seeing a lot of growth in your kind of hospitality business, your growth-oriented revenues, a little bit in property taxes. My hope is in time that will even pick up more. What we're seeing a lot of times in the bigger urban areas, 5 to 10% growth in assessed values in property taxes. Yours are more like 2 to 5. And our hope is that with the investment in the downtown and everything, you're going to start seeing that ramp up in the coming years. You also had some increases in intergovernmental revenues and in other revenues as well. On the expenditure side, you had an increase in expenditures of 1.9. Remember, you're a people business, so if your costs are usually going up, it's related to salaries and benefits. Remember, you gave a 3% COLA. You also gave some step increases to kind of get people where they needed to be. And unfortunately, costs always usually are going up. They don't usually go down each year. You also had some transfers in. Remember, your general government, your general fund supports a lot of other functions. And so those like hospitality tax, some from your enterprise funds, you transfer monies in to kind of reimburse the general fund for the time of Chris and Dennis and his staff, because they have to account for all that too, and those costs are not directly being charged to those funds. And so this is your way of kind of reimbursing yourself for that admin time there. All right, well, wanted to just kind of mention, you have a number of kind of retirement plans and retiree health insurance. Actually, they all went down this year. That's kind of a rarity. Remember, a lot of these, they're measured on June 30th of the year. And if the stock market is doing well, then those liabilities will come down as of that June 30th. If the stock market is probably not doing so well, then that liability will grow. So they kind of are very volatile. The real takeaway, though, is the fourth bullet point from the bottom is someone's not going to ask you to write them a check for the SCRS liability of 18.9 or the PRS of 19.6. But the way that they get you is the fact that your contributions into those plans have continued to increase. And now we're at the highest level. It's 18.41 into the SCRS and 21.24 into the PRS. So remember, every dollar of payroll, you're also paying 18.41 to the SCRS. If it was $1 of PRS payroll, you're paying 21.24 that's being sent down to the state to help fund those pension plans. Now, remember, your employees are also contributing 9 to 9.75. So there's a lot of dollars going to the state to try to shore up those plans. Because if you remember, they were very, very underfunded. And the goal is by raising the rates and hopefully getting better investment returns, those plans will get better funded, and then maybe in the future they can lower rates. But we're still a number of years away from there. If you ever want to know more about these plans, in the notes, the last bullet point, there's a lot of information. It tells you about the plan, how funded the plan is, how much you're contributing to the plan. There's a lot of information if you want to read up on that. All right, well, let's briefly look at your capital assets. This is probably the busiest year that I ever remember of capital asset additions. Remember with the baseball stadium, you had a lot of airport improvement. You still had some fire station, West Main projects going on, Morgan Square. We had additions this year of $94 million. That's a lot of projects. And especially when you think about that your overall capital assets are maybe a couple $100 million, you can see how much as a percentage came about this year. So again, you had a lot going on there, but remember, when we capitalize something, we begin to depreciate it. And that depreciation and some disposals there was about $10.5 million. We list some of the projects that I mentioned, and then on the debt front, we really didn't have a lot of new debt issuances. So all we did was kind of made our regularly scheduled principal payments and we wrote off some of these SPIDAs. We had set them up in the prior year. The accounting rules want to say that if you lock into a long-term lease, we have to present value those future lease payments and come up with an asset and a liability if we think we're going to stay in the lease over the life of the lease and any extensions that are a part of it. Well, we kind of came to the realization, Dennis and I, that yeah, you're in a 5-year on some of these leases, but we don't think you're going to do those extensions. And so we were able to get rid of the extensions and kind of write off part of that asset and liability because they're a pain to track. Now remember, it's kind of just an accounting thing. We set up an asset, we set up a liability, they kind of net to zero, but the new GASBs kind of make us do that. But if they're not material, we don't want to record them. We want to get them off. So that's that. Wanted to mention to you, they're really, from an auditing standpoint, not a lot of big changes this year. There is a big GASB for y'all for next year, really for all governments. And what they're wanting is, I don't know if you've ever looked at the schedule behind your notes in the financials. So when you get there, there's a budgetary comparison schedule. And what it does is it shows you the original budget, shows you the revised budget, shows you actual and a variance. Well, the GASB was like, we like that schedule, but we want our governments to explain what the variances are. So not only do I want you to show the variance, if it's a significant change, we want the reader to be able to understand because you're going to have written out that explanation. Plus, they want a variance from the original to revised budget. So if you change your budget and it was significant, we want you to explain it. If you have a big variance between final budget and your actual results, we want you to explain that too. So that will kick in next year, but you can see maybe some of the benefit of that. If you're just reading the financials, you don't have to be at this type of meeting. You could go look at that schedule and hopefully there's some meaningful explanations. Well, why were our property taxes up? Or why was public safety up? Those explanations hopefully would be there going forward. All right, that was the biggest change there. We did have a couple findings we wanted to make you aware of. Some of your projects, especially with the baseball stadium, there were numerous sources of revenue for those projects. Not only state, there was some federal, there was money from the Downtown Development Corp, there's money from Duke and other places, and it took a lot of time for us and the staff to kind of work through how much of the monies were still available in each category. The staff there, they've hired a new person, Daryl, and this is something that he's going to be taxed with, but it ended up just taking a lot of time for us and for the staff. And so this is something that we just think it's important that you reconcile and kind of know what proceeds remain in each of those buckets, because there's a lot of buckets. I've never seen this many buckets that we were trying to track. Also, when we were wrapping up this year's audit, we became aware that in the transit fund, some expenses had been drawn down twice related to the prior year. So unfortunately, with the transit fund, the materiality is really low in that fund. So we had to restate the prior year because we over-reflected revenue in the prior year. That revenue is going to come in this year. So it's really a timing deal, but the way the accounting standards work for us, if one of these major funds is material, we have to restate it. And so then we have to make you aware of that. We also audited one single audit program this year, the Airport Improvement Program. And remember, you have like what is it? What do we call it? A project manager that oversees the airport, and they're supposed to be filing your SF 425 reports, and they just got filed late. And unfortunately, that's one of those compliance requirements that says you have to file it by a certain deadline, or else we have to report it. So that's kind of what that is there. So again, it wasn't like any monies were spent inappropriately. It was just the timing of getting that report in on time. The management letter, you'll get a separate letter of required communications, and that would be as if there was disagreements that we had with staff. If we thought there were adjustments that needed to be booked and staff didn't want to book them, we would need to make you aware of that. There were no issues in that letter. I think that's it.
Do we have
Any questions? I know I'll go kind of quick. Yes.
Questions? Any questions? David, well, I want to say thank you. We've been doing this for quite some time now. We appreciate your thoroughness in working with Dennis and the team down in finance, and always being open to any suggestions or any questions that we may have. So I do say thank you for all that you've done for the city and the people in the city of Spartanburg.
Sounds great.
Thanks a lot, David. Dennis, you stepping up? No. I mean, you're more than welcome to have yeah, I know you're the guy behind the scenes now. No, staff updates.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of council, I have two items I want to update on, and then I'll certainly welcome any questions that you have. The first, and I'm sorry I sound funny, I'm battling a little cold. The first is just to give an update about where the progress staff is making in preparing to make a recommendation to you all about new location for the clock tower. We've been working through the site logistics on a number of sites, and we are very close. We've got a couple final questions, and then we believe either at the next meeting or one thereafter, we'll be able to make a presentation of our evaluation of those sites. And of course, you know that the primary criteria we are looking to ensure we are well within is we're looking for a location that is unlikely to be impacted by any reasonably envisioned future change to that area. So we want to make sure that we don't compromise ourselves looking ahead. So that's probably the most significant. And secondly,
Chris, before we still want to be good stewards. We were not under any timeline, deadlines, or anything.
that's correct. We've posted the full agreement, and we are compliant in good faith with that, and expect to continue to do that.
Okay, thank you.
The second thing is, the second criterion we're looking for site-wise is to make sure it's complementary to its surroundings, right? And visible and accessible and things of that nature. And then, of course, it needs to be city-owned property in order to be able to make the commitment that we can maintain it for the long term. So those are the criterion we are utilizing, and we are making good progress, and I appreciate the staff team for making that happen. Welcome any questions along that front. And if they're not, I'm going to move to a more significant discussion of a personnel item that I want to share publicly. After a 40-plus year exemplary career in policing and public service, Chief Alonzo Thompson is supporting us through a transition towards his retirement, which we think will be later this year. And I just want you to I'll have other opportunity down the line to share more about what Chief Thompson has meant to our team in this organization. And foremost in my mind in sharing this news publicly is to express my appreciation for the way in which he's gone about this so that we can take our time and move appropriately through a search and selection process for his successor. We envision undertaking a national search, and through his good service to this community, we believe we'll be able to avoid a interim type transition, and we're grateful for that. He's certainly earned the right to move through this process appropriately. You know, some of the things that I admire about Chief Thompson have been the fact that over a decade he's led our team has been a period of stability, progress, ethical conduct and consistent advancement of the police department. I knew we were on the right track. I was assistant city manager at the time, but when he came to join us, and in the very first meeting that we attended that he participated in the staff meeting, he shared his expectation that the officers of the Spartanburg Police Department would handle every incident in the manner that they would like it to be handled if their own grandmother were involved. And I think that is a wonderful litmus test for how policing ought to be undertaken. He's led us through attracting a team of strong men and women, and these are good people that we see on a regular basis doing good things in the community. He's elevated the notions of youth engagement and mentoring and cultivating relationships. We have officers who are coaches, who are mentors, who are active in the lives of the youth of our community, and that's a function of value. And one particular memory that I'll carry with me forever was the way Chief Thompson engaged directly with those who in our community whose hearts were hurting, and they were protesting in the wake of George Floyd's death, which shook the nation in 2020. And his instinctive decision to walk alongside those folks is an image that I will carry forever in my career, and I hope it is an example for others. More recently, he has led initiatives that have positioned us to be the leader in South Carolina in stretching our manpower through the use of technology and doing so equitably and responsibly. And I am proud of that. And perhaps, it goes unnoticed a lot, but he's also served as chief for the lowest crime rates we've experienced in generations. In fact, the lowest crime rates since we've consistently collected that kind of data and reported it. So when I think about the quality of men and women that will consider our organization, both as we launch the national search for a chief to succeed Chief Thompson, and for the young people who may be considering entering a career in law enforcement, I'm just grateful for him for positioning us so well to deal with those challenges. So I wanted to share that news with you all tonight, and look forward to any questions that you may have.
Sure. Questions, Councilwoman Smith?
Mayor. Thank you, Chris, for that update, and look forward to celebrating the chief over these next several months. Erica and I had a question over the weekend from a community member asking for an update on the comprehensive plan and updating our zoning maps. I know I've asked that lots of times, but hoping you have an update for us.
We do. We have an RFP out for that, and no firm selected quite yet. But we have timeline and internal staff, and we'll hopefully bring in an action to award the consultancy in the next several meetings. So.
Questions? Mr. Story? Good, thank you. And I echo the sentiments with the chief as well. I'm sure everyone else will have the opportunity to say a few more words. Staff, council updates. Councilwoman Rogers.
Thank you, Mayor. It is such a beautiful day outside. It's so nice to see everyone in the room, but I am starting to feel just the itch for spring. I wanted to call attention to all the different spring events that are going to be in our city and in our community over the next couple months. Christy, thank you for the comprehensive list for all of us. But I just wanted to we have amazing community members that put on these events. We have city staff that spend so much time to create these experiences for us. You can follow, it's on the homepage on the city website. You can subscribe, you can get notifications and reminders. So please come out and enjoy and just, stay in touch with when we all want to come and communicate or congregate together to really enjoy where we live and each other. The other thing that I wanted to share was just I really enjoyed the first pitch event last week and learning about the Power Up program. It was so exciting. Just to see these energizing, pitches and these entrepreneurs that have ideas and businesses that they're really throwing themselves behind, and the support that the Power Up program has provided them and continues to provide them. So just wanted to say, first of all, congratulations to them, but also it's a collaboration between the county, the city, One Spartanburg, and others. So I learned a lot last Thursday. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smith.
I love Leslie's enthusiasm, Councilwoman Rogers' enthusiasm. Also this past week, there was an internship fair for our young people across the county, and we at the city have 10-ish internship spots. So if you are a rising junior or a senior that's going to be graduating and you want to work for the city of Spartanburg in a fun internship opportunity, encourage you to check that out. But there's also going to be over 700 opportunities across the county for our young people, mostly all paid internship opportunities. So encourage you to check all of those out. And I'm excited. On Wednesday, I have the opportunity to go to New York City with some of my colleagues, and I'll be visiting the Department of Youth and Development, which is the department in New York City that issues all of their youth internships. So I'm excited to learn from them and see what we can bring back here to our city that's a little bit smaller than New York City, but no less great. And see what kind of things that we can implement and improve on. But there's lots of great things out there happening for young people. If you are a senior in high school, Big Mo is available to you, which is free money to attend one of our 4 colleges and universities here in Spartanburg: SCC, SMC, Converse, and USC Upstate. So encourage you to check that out if you have a senior in your life. College affordability is always a concern. I'm a parent of a senior, and we're considering all of those things right now as well. But Spartanburg is a place that supports our young people. We're a city that supports our young people, and that includes helping you pay for college. So don't think that college is not for you because of that. Thank you.
Councilperson Brown.
Mr. Mayor, lots of fun St. Patrick's Day events happening this coming weekend, so I encourage you all to venture out downtown and support our businesses and restaurants. I believe there'll be a event on Morgan Square. There's some events going on at Rockers. Plenty of free parking in our garages, so please bring your families out and continue to support our small businesses. And also just want to, extend prayers to our men and women in uniform and those that are suffering right now. It's just really important we keep, innocent folks in your prayers and support in any way we can our men and women in uniform. So thank you.
Thank you for that. And I did forget during our moment of silence, but thank you for that. Councilwoman Salad.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say that the 3 on the end took all the gusto. So you now know that we have a lot of activity going on for the spring flings and St. Patty Day and everything else that is occurring in the city. So I hope you get out and enjoy it. And I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, too. And I want to especially continue to thank the staff that we have. Appreciate you guys very, very much.
Thank you, Councilman Foreman.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, in the interest of keeping your meeting brief, I really don't have anything to comment on today.
Walford and Upstate baseball.
Walford and Upstate baseball. And,
Tomorrow, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Go Sparty.
yeah, exactly.
Mayor Pro Tem.
As long as the mayor doesn't throw out the first pitch.
Yes, Mayor, I received a message
on this morning that the South Converse neighborhood is going to have an unveiling of a mural on Duncan Street that's been in play. That's going to be on March the 21st, and I think you're going to be a part of that, they said. I didn't know anything about it.
I don't either, Councilman.
Unfortunately, I won't be there because I have something else that's on my
Smiles with the
schedule.
mayor.
And I just want to say this right fast. I used to work with debutantes for years, when I was down in Charleston. And one of the things that I used to tell them, I don't care how good you look, how well dressed you are, because when you are chewing gum, you look like a nanny goat, especially out in public. I was in Dillard's. Now, I just want to say this right fast. I just want to share this.
See which way you going.
I was in Dillard's on Thursday, and there was this beautiful young lady. I mean, she was absolutely stunning. And about 5'8", because 5'9", the beautiful hair. I mean, everything about her was just absolutely beautiful. But she was chewing that gum so, and she just going like that. It bothered me so bad, and I was trying to find a way to say something to her, and I was afraid to say something. She was with her mother and her sister. So God gave me an opportunity. But while the guy was bringing my shoes out, because she came over near me to look at some shoes, and I just said to her, I said, you are absolutely stunning, and do you mind if I share something with you? And I told her that I used to work with debutantes, and one of the things that I told them, I don't care how well dressed you are, how beautiful you are, but when you're chewing gum in a public setting, you look like a nanny goat. And so she was with her mother. She was with her mother and her sister. And so I didn't know that they were back over in there. But to think, her mother came over to me later on and leaned over and she said, thank you so much. She said, I have been trying for the longest to get her to stop doing that because it takes away from her looks. So I am grateful to you. So young ladies and men, because the men are just as bad now as the women, I don't care how good you look, how educated you are, when you're out there in the public chewing gum like that, you look like a nanny goat.
A nanny goat. We're gonna remember that.
Heard it here, folks.
Do we need to update our city ordinance?
That's where I thought she was going with this. Okay, now one last thing. I'm not supposed to say this right here, right now, I don't think, because it's only... No, because it's only for the South Converse neighborhood right now. However, the police department is going to do a porch, a front porch. Wait a minute, I need to put on my glasses. Okay, a front porch roll call, and they are going from neighborhood to neighborhood. And so that they would be doing it at our house on the 25th. So if you go by our house and you see a bunch of policemen there, could just know that we're not having problems. It's a front porch roll call.
Loud music, you and Horace. Loud music. No. No, until that, mentioning being out of town, I will be out of town next week at the NLC National League of Cities Conference in Washington, D.C. I also would be a part of a panel to talk about Spartanburg and the opportunity that we have to be first with the census, getting out the census information. So that will be in front of about 3,000 folks, and they're giving the mayor of Spartanburg the mic, and it's going to be about more than the census, Alan. You know, I'm talking about the greatness in Spartanburg. So that will happen next week. Also, Miles with the mayor on the 21st. at 9 o'clock at Westminster Church over on Fernwood.
That won't be done.
And celebrity basketball, your mayor will be participating in the celebrity basketball game on the 22nd, knocking down those baskets. As I look over at my colleague beside me, Miss Player of the Year, and and
Make sure you stretch.
definitely. And to that end, guys, it is a beautiful day out, and thank you all for coming. Thank you all for participating in this council meeting. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to move into executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Any that oppose? The ayes have it. Let's go. Yes, ma'am.